This is TB Talks and BS Walks. Join the conversation or the BS. Here are the masterminds behind the microphone, Tyler and Brian.
I was just trying to ramble and make up some stuff while you were indisposed, but go into detail. You know more detail on the Trump star. I know I was talking about that. This is the second time it had been vandalized in 2 years, and I guess there was some kind of a vote now that they had voted to just remove it completely.
Yes, I think we had covered it when it happened the first time. And we had a little laugh about it because the guy who had destroyed the star had done time for,
right.
I think it was, what was it? He had attacked women at some point. I can't
I don't know,
remember
but
exactly what he did. But
all I know is that the guy that did it this time, Austin Clay, 24-year-old kid, said that after he did it, he wanted positive political change, so he felt that it was a good idea to destroy the star. So, yeah,
totally makes sense. So the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce and the Los Angeles mayor, I do believe it was, did a vote and voted to remove the star. However, when it got to the people who, do the stars and the Hollywood Walk of Fame, they said once it becomes a star, it's a historical landmark, and therefore they've never removed a star, ever. My problem is everybody's making a big deal about something that was said back in the 80s. And when anybody brings up the past of any candidate, everybody gets all offended. Like, you can bring up stuff that Hillary's done in the past, when she was a lawyer, way back when, but everybody wants to give that a pass. You bring up something that Trump said. He said. And everybody loses their mind.
So are they going to go ahead and take it down, or did they...
No, as of right now,
they are going to
it's
keep
still
it
there. Yes, because it's a historical landmark.
Right.
Now, my issue is the supposed moral high ground that a lot of these people have, where, Trump said this about women, and he slept with Playboy bunnies, and he paid them to keep quiet, like most millionaires do. And it's a problem, and I understand that, but you can't take the moral high ground with Trump and then be okay to keep the star for, like, Cosby and Spacey.
Here's my...
I don't get it.
Here's my only bone of contention with that. And I'm probably going to be in the extreme minority and may even get hate mail sent to my mailbox after I say this. But the similar issue has just went on with Missouri's former governor, Eric Greitens. And he resigned because he was tired of all the crap and I guess could take all the criticism he was getting. But Eric Greitens had an affair on his wife. His wife publicly announced that she knew about it. They had discussed it. She had forgiven him for doing that. And it was time to move on. All of that happened before he was a political figure of any kind.
Right.
Now, Trump was not a political figure in the 80s. So, I mean, if he was, and somebody correct me, but I don't think he was in a political figure in the 80s. So, why would something that he said prior to him being in office of any kind, why should that be deemed relevant now?
And if it is, then you have to be. Then everything else that was done before any candidate got in has to be relevant as well. You can't just pick and choose.
Exactly. I don't understand how come that it's such a huge deal when this was, granted, yeah, is it morally wrong? Absolutely. But it's what somebody does in their personal life, okay, whether it be in a sexual aspect, whether it be, I mean, whatever. What somebody does in their personal life is their business. And I don't think that should be relevant when it happened 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, had Trump been president when this happened, yeah, then that's an issue that needs to be addressed. But this happened way before that, and that was my problem with the whole Missouri governor thing. Is that, yeah, it was morally wrong. He had an affair, but it was before he was governor, before he was in office at all.
Yeah, but if it were
people
anybody
just
else,
hang on to that.
Yeah, but if it were anybody else, the people who are complaining about this wouldn't have any kind of airtime whatsoever.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't even know who Stormy Daniels was until all this crap started up. I had no clue.
Yeah, but they aren't nagging on Stormy Daniels for her choice of lifestyle of being a porn star or a stripper or whatever she was, right?
Right.
So why should they, just because Donald Trump's president, that he's the one that gets, and there again, I'm maybe in the extreme minority here. I mean, I've made no comments about saying that I was pro-Trump. Obviously he was the better choice than Hillary Clinton any day of the week, in my opinion. We're all entitled to our own opinion, but that's my opinion. And my opinion is also that if something happened before you were in a political position, I mean, barring murder or something like that, it shouldn't matter. Something that you said, or you had sex with somebody before you were the president. Oh my, like no one's ever had sex with somebody random, right?
Yeah.
So, and a friend of mine posted on Facebook today, and I saw it this morning, and it was a picture that looked like it had, been drawn in a comic book, but it made so much sense. And I think seeing the illustration on the picture really brought it to light to see what kind of a problem that it is. And the picture was a crowd of people professing love. They had signs that said love and peace and all of these things, right? A whole crowd of people. And then you had a small, minute group of people, like maybe 6 people, that were proclaiming hate. And they had hate signs and swastikas and KKK. And next to them was media with cameras right in their face taking snapshots. So what that says to me is that the media's reaction and the media's publicity of hate is why there's so many problems in America today. Right? Love is not in the forefront. Everybody is hating on people, and the media just wants to bring that to the forefront. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because everybody's focusing on the negativity when you've got thousands of people that are doing the exact opposite. They're professing love. But that doesn't ever get recognized because the media doesn't care about that. They only care about the negativity because that attracts attention.
Yeah.
So, and I think the situation with Trump is no different. Yeah, some guy takes a pickaxe to Trump's Hollywood star, right? Mm-hmm. What's the first thing that happens? It's all over the media.
Yep.
Okay. But whenever somebody gives the change out of their pocket to a homeless person on the street or buys them something to eat, you don't ever read about that.
No. It's all about the ratings.
Exactly.
But, I mean, I'm just from a societal point of view, if you want to take the moral high ground, that's fine. But you need to do that in every case, not just the ones you're biased towards.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm sorry, you can't get on to Trump for stuff he said and stuff he did back in the 70s and 80s and give Hillary a free pass even though there's plenty of stuff she's done too. You can't do that. You have to hold both accountable. That's why I didn't vote for either one. Like, you have to, if you're going to take that high ground, be consistent.
Well, man, look at everything now. Look at movies, especially. Sex sells.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I know we've all heard that saying before, but it's true. In movies, whether it be magazines, calendars, sex sells. And so obviously if Trump had sex with a porn star or a prostitute, right? It's sex. So everybody wants to know about it, like it's something we can talk about. You know?
Yeah.
And it's so I know we've talked about moral high ground on this show multiple times in several situations, and it's all, you know, it's all because hate is what's portrayed in the media, my friend.
Yeah.
But if Mr. Clay is convicted, he could face up to 3 years in jail.
Yep.
So, but I was discussing it when you were on the phone. It has to be that these people couldn't have had a healthy home life, because how could you vandalize something and then think that you were doing that for a positive change?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, is that a role model? You know, this is morally what you should do. If you want something positive to happen, you should go destroy something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine what goes through people's heads like that. It blows my mind. It truly does.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason that Gandhi and Martin Luther King and all these advocates for peace were peaceful. That they did nothing violent. They did their protests, but there was no violence. There was nothing done. And that's because in the public eye, 90% of people have that moral standing that they try to do nothing wrong, and they only see it as bad when something bad happens. So like in the case of Martin Luther King, he never really did anything violent. He had his protests, they had their marches, he spoke, and he spoke well, but he never did anything. However, all the violence that was put on him and on the protesters and everything, when other people saw that, they saw that what was happening was wrong. If there was violence in retaliation, how is anybody going to, like...
Yeah.
If all those people who were in the marches started vandalizing and throwing and doing riots and, you know, throwing stuff at people as they were doing all that, who's going to look at that and go, oh yeah, they deserve to be treated like we are? No. It wouldn't have even crossed their minds. That had just been like, well, I hope the cops do something about that. You know? But he maintained peace. He didn't do anything like that, and the people who were with him didn't do anything like that. So when the cops just randomly started beating people, and when the fire department started spraying people with hoses, the people at home were going, that's not right. They didn't even do anything. They're just out there talking. Why are we doing that? And you know, it gets people to think. When you respond with violence, nobody's going to take your side. Everybody just thinks you're a spoiled brat. Like, oh, he's not getting his way, look at him throwing a fit. Well, the cops do something about that. Whereas if you're out there not doing anything, standing for what you believe in, and somebody does something wrong to you because of that, it takes on a new meaning.
Not to interrupt you, I forgot to lay some meat out for dinner, so stall for just a second. I got to go get this meat to thaw. Be right back.
Okay. So I'm stalling so Tyler can thaw his meat. Just thought I'd share that. No, that's just with the whole Trump star and everything. That's my thought process. It's like, Kevin Spacey, and Cosby, they were known to do this stuff. If you don't like the treatment of women, going and vandalizing anything shouldn't be on your list. When nobody's going to really stand behind you because you're vandalizing public property. Really kind of hard to make a statement on that. Peaceful protests should probably be peaceful. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I'm back. And talking Martin Luther King, perfect example, right? Somebody who did nothing but, protest peace and love, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he got shot for it,
Yeah.
So, who never did anything to anybody. But,
Nope.
Played the Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta last weekend, and it was surprisingly refreshing. It didn't feel like Call of Duty, and I've hated Call of Duty for so long because it's been more of the same. But played it, and it was very, very refreshing. They did a great job. The Blackout Battle Royale beta drops September 10th, and determine whether or not I keep my pre-order. You had to pre-order in order to play the beta. So we will see. The Battle Royale mode is what I was curious about. That's the reason that I was intrigued anyway. So that drops September 10th, and we'll get a weekend trial of that, get to find out if I'm going to keep my pre-order. So, but I did enjoy it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm waiting for Spider-Man on PlayStation. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. This may be a short episode. Wife and the kids just pulled up, so probably going to get a bit noisy here. So this might be a good place to call it if you want. I know it's a short show.
Yeah. Well.
But if you want to call it here, I don't really have anything else to talk about.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. That was about it. Just a short episode this week, and we'll probably have some more information and more studied up on some things next week.
We need to go play some Gears of War.
Yep. I'm going to get some Gears 4 in. Gears. We're going to get some Gears in. So, yeah. All right. Well, that's it for TV Talks, BS Walks. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate all the follows on Twitter, and hope you're enjoying the show. Come back next time.
Love you.
We're out.
Bye.